Hey guys, this is Ruben, and welcome to another episode of Theme Park Eats. We produce new content pretty regularly, so before we get started, make sure you subscribe and like. So, because so many of you have asked, today we are going to rank the top 5 dining experiences at Fauxtopia. Now, this won't just be about the food, but the whole experience you have to have at one of these themed restaurants in the park. We won't be covering fast food or unique snack stands like Joey Bag of Donuts or the Kool-Aid kiosks, even though they are completely tasty and worth a visit. This episode is focusing on the whole experience that Fauxtopia is known for. So, let's dig in. At number 5, Making Sense Bistro. Between simulated reality and perceived reality is the Making Sense Bistro, a food science themed restaurant based on the film Senseless, about Gobbly, a white lab rat that develops highly acute senses, especially taste. All of the food is created in a laboratory on premises. These mad scientist chefs are inventing new fake foods that are revolutionary. The design of the dining hall is somewhere between steampunk and an 11th grade science class. Your host is a mechanical man maitre d' who greets guests and escorts you to your table. Even your food is delivered by robots, or if you're seated in the right area, on rails. Humans are only there to help the robots. After you're seated, your table receives a complimentary bowl of Funyuns, which the waiter will tell you that no onions were harmed in the making of this dish. The fare is all chemistry, so if you have any food allergies, you shouldn't be too worried because none of the food is what it seems and very few natural ingredients are used. The menu includes comfort food like crab sandwiches, that's KRABB, trademark, and Impossible Meat tacos. The very popular strawberry banana shakes have absolutely no dairy and certainly no fruit in them. And there's a whole section of the menu dedicated to Velveeta, which is really a cheese food and not real cheese. So if you believe in better living through chemistry, the Making Sense Bistro should be on your list. Marching in at number 4, Operation Dessert Storm Ice Cream Parlor. Located next to It's America, the Jingo Cruise. In the northwest corner of Fauxtopia, you'll find a patriotic ice cream parlor fit to handle any jarhead's sweet tooth. Ice cream has long been a staple of American morale, and the U.S. military has had an equally long history serving frozen goodness to our boys on destroyers in the Pacific Theater and in the mess halls of boot camp. Operation Dessert Storm specializes in sundaes, splits, and frozen novelties inspired by each branch of the military. But beware, if you order the pork chop platoon from the Marines menu, it deceptively is listed as 3 scoops of ice cream, and in parentheses afterward it says in Marine count, which is a cadence count of 1 2 3 1, 1 2 3 2, 1 2 3 3. So when 2 recruits fill the dish with a scoop of your favorite ice creams with each number counted, well, you end up with 12 scoops. Obviously, this is not just for one person, but for a few good men. Number 3, the Farmyard Jamboree. In hyper-reality, just off Kitsch Gardens, is this unique down-home dining experience, the Farmyard Jamboree. Seating is limited here because it's a dinner show, so you need to make reservations early. But there are about 6 to 8 shows a day, depending on the season, so you should be able to get in. The show here has changed over the few years, but it has always been a consistent theme of singing barnyard animals in a country hoedown. It's a mix of live actors, puppets, and audio animatronics performing various traditional country numbers. And although the show is fun, the chicken legs on stage can't compare to the barbecued chicken legs on your table. This is an all-you-care-to-enjoy bucket of meat dinner, with the stars on stage being the stars on your plate. The pig ribs melt in your mouth, and cow brisket is like butter. It's easy to see and taste why this is one of the more popular restaurants in Fauxtopia. Obviously, there's no vegetarian or vegan options at this venue, so if you're looking for that, you may want to go back to Making Sense, where the food is not only vegetarian and vegan, it's also gluten and whey-free and actually, well, food-free. Coming in at number 2 on the charts, the Retro Diner. Nostalgia plays a big part in Fauxtopia, so it's fun to go back to the 1980s when the 1950s were all the rage. It's time to put your glad rags on and rock around the clock. The late 70s kicked off a nostalgia craze due to the overwhelming amount of baby boomers coming of age and the greatest generation in full swing. The Fonz, Laverne and Shirley, the T-Birds and Pink Ladies paved the way for this recreation of a classic 80s retro-feeling 50s diner with a complete romanticized view of the era. No references to the Cold War, polio, or segregation. Here, everyone is welcome to experience America's best decade. There are tables for wheelchairs, and the whole place is ADA compliant, something you'd never get in a real 50s diner. Bobby Soxers in poodle skirts and greasers serve up a menu that is authentic 50s fare, but served through the 80s palate. So fries are served with garlic aioli, and burgers can come deconstructed or supersized. And yes, they do have Diet Coke and New Coke floats. The malts come in more than just Martin and Lewis and Amos and Andy, because there's a small batch creamery on premises. And the wait staff perform. You never know when you might be pulled into their show to dance to classic tunes like YMCA or Car Wash, which are actually from the 70s, but as with all of Fauxtopia, the further you get from the real thing, the easier it is to mix it up and believe it's accurate. And at number 1, all the restaurants in the Etox section of the park. We may have copped out here, but Etox, the ethnic tapestry of cultural stereotypes, is home to a lot of international cafes and bistros, from classics of Western European kitchens to the exotic others cuisine of the mysterious Far East. And we couldn't pick just one. Because most of us will never have a chance to travel the globe, a trip to Etox can satisfy your wanderlust. You get all the romance of foreign cities without having to show your passport or convert your dollars to yen or rupees. And because Etox is like one big food festival, you can literally eat your way around the world while strolling around Lake Cliché. Start by celebrating Mexico's 4th of July, Cinco de Mayo, at Casa de Tacos. They serve up a variety of unique flavored, authentic margaritas like sriracha or kale. They will perfectly complement the queso dip served in an edible fried tortilla sombrero. Next, move to the Tatame Oriental Noodle Company for traditional Chinese family-style eating. You can sample a variety of genuine Asian dishes like crab rangoon, which is crab and cream cheese in a deep-fried wonton, or genuine chop suey. I am told the recipe dates back to the Chungking dynasty, and it hasn't been changed. Also, the dessert of choice is their chocolate terracotta warriors with a juicy cherry blossom filling. If you want to drink your way around the world, grab a stout and a stein in the Derwite Busen Biergarten, or bend your elbow at McLeprechaun Banshee's Irish pub. But if you want something truly special, the swankiest restaurant in Fauxtopia is Le Caniche Gourmand the Gourmet Poodle. Nowhere but here and in Paris will you find frogs and snails served up in a ton of butter and wrapped in a crepe. Don't make the rookie mistake by testing your 2 years of high school French trying to make sense of the menu. You'll only embarrass yourself in front of the very real snooty French waiter. But it doesn't matter if you do, because everything is delicious, from the flute of champagne served when you're sat at your table to the macarons that come with your bill. It's mwah, chef's kiss. So those are our takes of the best dining experiences at Fauxtopia. Tell us if you agree or not in the comments below. And make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Bye for now.
If you're in the Los Angeles area in spring or summer of 2022, make plans to visit the Treasures of Fauxtopia exhibit on display at the Don B. Huntley Gallery on the Cal Poly Pomona campus. This is one of the first fully curated shows of artifacts, memorabilia, and souvenirs from the most believable place on earth. Details can be found here by snapping the QR code or follow the link in the video's description.